In the previous sessions on the short story A Service of Love by O. Henry, we learned that how Joe and Delia, the two artist couple, were quite happy in their cozy narrow flat, okay, in their cozy nest, in their cozy home. And after that, we had decided to look into what's going to further happen in their life, or how life is going to take over from there on for them. Okay, so the next part of the story starts with a fresh paragraph as follows. But after a while, art flagged. It sometimes does, even if some switchman does not flag it. Everything going out and nothing coming in, as the vulgarians say. Money was lacking to pay Mr. Magister and Herr Rosenstock their prices. When one loves one's art, no service seems too hard. So Delia said she must give music lessons to keep the chafing dish bubbling. For 2 or 3 days she went out canvassing for pupils. One evening she came home elated. "Joe dear," she said gleefully, "I have a pupil, and oh, the loveliest people. General A.B. Pinckney's daughter on 71st Street. Such a splendid house. Joe, you ought to see the front door. Byzantine, I think you would call it. And inside, oh Joe, I never saw anything like it before. My pupil is his daughter Clementina. I dearly love her already. She is a delicate thing, dresses always in white, and the sweetest, simplest manners. Only 18 years old. Am to give 3 lessons a week. And just think, Joe, $5 a lesson. I don't mind it a bit, for when I get 2 or 3 more pupils, I can resume my lessons with Herr Rosenstock. Now smooth out that wrinkle between your brows, dear, and let's have a nice supper. Okay, so this is exactly what happens in the middle part of the story we are discussing, that after a time art flagged. Okay, the charm of art began to fade in their life. Why is it so? Obviously because of the obvious lack of money. Okay, then when everything going out and nothing coming in, right? And the actual lack of money was to pay their respective trainers or teachers. Joe did not have enough money to pay his art teacher, Mr. Magister, whereas Delia could not afford to pay her teacher, Herr Rosenstock. Okay, so finally, what happens is Delia decides that she must take on some initiative and she must start giving music lessons to pupils, to children in the area in and around. And for 2 or 3 days, she does canvassing also, looking out for the students who would come to her and learn music so that she can make some money. Okay, both to run the household and also to pay the fees for both of their teachers. Okay, so now again the author repeats the same line, that when one loves one's art, no service seems too hard. Okay, so it becomes debatable towards the end when we have a climax ending, whether was it the love of the art that made her do this? And also, whatever Joe does later on, was it towards the love of the art did he do it, or because towards his love for his family, that is, towards Delia, made him do whatever he does, which is revealed towards the end of the story. Okay, so that is the actual debatable point, and it's a kind of refrain. Okay, this line is a kind of refrain which is often used in poetry, right? Refrain is a same line used again and again in the poem after one or two stanzas. Okay, repetitive use of a line in a poem. Here, the author has very creatively made use of this refrain technique in his short story as well. Okay, so why is this particular premise or the line is repeated again and again, and even the story begins with this particular line, that is to emphasize on some kind of importance on the theme of the story. Does the author uses this refrain again and again in the story, that one when one loves one's art, no sacrifice seem too hard. Okay, so then she goes on tell Joe with so much happiness that she finally found a pupil. She found a student whom she ought to teach only 3 days in a week. Okay, and who is this student? Who is just 18-year-old, kind of beautiful girl, who is the daughter of General A.B. Pinkney. Okay, and she always dresses in white. She is very pretty. Okay, and she says that the girl is very sweet and she has very simplest manners. Okay, and she is going to be paid $5 a lesson, and she is going to teach only 3 days in a week, and she is going to teach at A.B. Pinkney's house, and she is going to give music lessons to his daughter Clementina. Okay, so this is the announcement that Delia does to Joe, that not to get tensed about the money matters anymore. So the $15 per week, whatever she is going to earn by giving music lessons to Clementina, that would take care of the expenses, household expenses, and also the, later on, if at all she gets 2 3 more students, she would also be able to pay her music tutor. Okay, so based on this hope, she decides that she'll take on this job of teaching music to Clementina, and she cheerfully says to Joe not to worry anymore about money matters, and to have come and have nice supper for the day. Okay, and Joe responds to her saying, "That's all right for you, Dele," said Joe, attacking a can of peas with carving knife and a hatchet. "But how about me? Do you think I'm going to let you hustle for wages while I philander in the regions of art? Not by the bones of Benvenuto Cellini. I guess I can sell papers or lay cobblestones and bring in $1 or two." Okay, so this is Joe's response to Delia, that he is kind of feeling guilty, that how can he let Delia take on financial responsibilities while he goes on expending money on his high art. Okay, expending money, paying high fee for his expensive tutor, while she goes and works hard by giving music lessons. So now he is claiming that he would also take up some menial job so that he could also contribute little money for running the household. Okay, so he does not want to be a philander. Who is a philander? A person who squanders money, who spends money in a reckless manner. So he says that he does not want to um, expend or spend the hard earned money of both of them in a careless manner. So he also wants to contribute to the family. Then Delia came and hung about his neck. She says, Joe dear, you are silly. You must keep on at your studies. It is not as if I had quit my music and gone to work at something else. When I teach, I learn. I am always with my music, and we can live as happily as millionaires on $15 a week. You must not think of leaving Mr. Magister. Okay, so here is Delia, who does not want her husband to give up on his painting lessons, and because he can have the luxury of continue to go to his painting classes, she has actually taken up this job of teaching music. And she claims that when she teaches music, she also continues to learn. This is how she justifies taking up a job of giving music lessons to Clementina. Okay, then all right, said Joe, reaching for the blue scalloped vegetable dish. But I hate for you to be giving lessons. It isn't art, but you are a trump and a dear to do it. Okay, he does not like the fact actually that his wife is going to earn, and whereas he is taking a back seat and just going on with his painting classes. Then Delia says the same refraining statement again. Okay, it's again repeated here in this story, but this time the speaker is Delia herself here. It's not the omniscient author or the interference of author like the previous three times when this line was spoken in the lesson. Now the speaker is Delia herself. She says, when one loves one's art, no service seems too hard, said Delia. Okay, that is exactly what, whether she loved her art, that is music, or whether she loved Joe, right? For whose sake she is doing all these sacrifices, and if it is a sacrifice, what kind of sacrifice she actually does, that we learn as a surprise. It's just I'm dropping you a hint to which you can guess, which comes your way towards the end of the story. Okay, then Magister praised. Joe says Magister praised the sky in that sketch I made in the park, said Joe, and Tinkle gave me permission to hang two of them in his window. I may sell one if the right kind of a moneyed idiot sees them. Okay, so this how Joe is trying to make money by selling his paintings. He is trying to hang them in the park. Okay, he is painting it in the park and trying to look out for his prospective rich customers who could buy his paintings. Okay, and now he is also got a place. There is one Mr. Tinkle who is given permission for him to hang his paintings in the window so that people can look at it and buy it, through which Joe could make some money, he could earn some money, right? Then I am sure you will, said Delia sweetly. And now let's be thankful for General Pinkney and his veal toast. Okay, and this veal toast. And this veal roast. So that is exactly what she is claiming, that from General Pinkney's house, when she went to speak about her music lessons to be given to Clementina, she was also offered a kind of eatable, a kind of meal by the name veal roast, and she is got that meal home so that she can share it with Joe in dinner. Okay, so you see that till here we have had this information how this happy couple are trying to help each other, inspire each other, and even practically help each other. okay, so that either both of them can carry on with their mm, respective passions towards their art. Okay, so in the next part of this story we shall look into um, how the life progresses for Larrabees, okay, the happy couple in the story, whether it becomes tough or whether it becomes difficult or easy, then how they take it forward from there. That we shall look for in the next session.